Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Delusional's Arcade. So in this episode, we're actually going to take some fuse savers. I call them fuse savers, I don't even know what to call them. But at this point, we're basically saving fuses from being used all the time. These things can get a little pricey over time. If you're troubleshooting, they keep popping the fuse over and over. So instead, what you can do, you can actually take this. I'm just kind of simulating a fuse block here. You can clip the ends on there like that. Basically have it on there, and if it does pop it for whatever reason, all you have to do is click it, reset it, and then if it keeps popping, you are not kind of wasting the fuses here. So we're going to show you how to build this in this episode. I have links in the description on how to build it yourself. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. All right, so I have these samples here. These are actually ones that I already made. I did a live stream on them, and a lot of people were asking me on the live stream. They were messaging me saying, hey, where can I get these parts? So I said, you know what, let me just do a video on it. I'm gonna actually make one more here so you guys can see exactly what to do, and I'll have all the links in the description of the parts and stuff you can just buy on Amazon if you have an account there or wherever, you know. So just to start, I actually got a quality pair. You don't have to get, I mean, you can get any cheap alligator clip you want and just put it on here, but the important thing really is the actual circuit breaker here. This has to be 3 amps. You can get different sizes, I guess. I'm sure they have 1 amp ones and 2 amp and stuff like that. I chose 3 because that's the most common that I usually have for the things that I'm trying to troubleshoot. So you can just basically just use quick disconnects and just put them on there, crimp them on, put them on cheap alligator clips, and you're done. But I wanted a real heavy duty one. You don't have to do it this way. You can just crimp them on like I told you. But these were a little more expensive. I'll put a link, like I said, in the description, but these are really high quality ones that have a boot on them. So that's why I got these, because the conversation came up with friends and I. We were talking, you know, on our Zoom that we usually have every week. All the arcade guys were saying, you know, I do have these from Bob Roberts, but they are a little cheap. So, you know, it'd be nice if they were just more heavy duty. And then also, instead of just crimping them on here, I actually soldered them onto here, covered it with heat shrink tubing here, and then put another one here for strain relief. Anyway, so I thought this was really neat to have it very heavy duty, and that's why I created it this way. But again, you know, you can kind of just take the basics and just grab this part here and just simply crimp them on with quick disconnects. These are 1/4 inch in size. Crimp them on and then you're all set. But I'm gonna do the heavy duty one in this video, so if you wanna see how to do that, you know, you can just keep watching. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you the parts really quick. These are in the link. I'll send you these. I got these on Amazon. Comes with 5 of them. What's cool about them, and I'll take out one of them because we're going to work on it, is that you could kind of leave it like this. This is a typical breaker that you're probably used to seeing, but instead it has this little thing where you can screw on. This is kind of made of like silicone, and I guess it's to make it waterproof if you're installing it somewhere, but I thought it'd be cool to have them just to make them a little more, give it that more durable look. And then you can just take, I have 1/4 inch connectors here. I'm just gonna take a couple out. So you could go ahead and just crimp these on, or not even, just crimp them, meaning like this portion here. And then they just snap into place and then you're done. But like I said, I felt instead of having that, it'd be better just to shrink tube everything just to give it that extra, you know, like it's soldered on here. It's never gonna come out. It has this strain relief here in addition to that. So that's why I wanted these, but you could do it completely this way if you want. You just take any kind of thing like this and just cut it in half. So if I were to zoom out a little bit, let's see if I can do that. There we go. So you take this, you simply just slice it in half, which I'm actually gonna do on here. I'll just take my cutter and do that. And after you do that, you can kind of just work on the rest of it. We just take this off here. I'm going to use my stripper. So let me do that now. So I took one out and then this one here. These strippers are the best, by the way. The best for me. Everybody has opinion on stuff, but these are awesome. I'll see if I can link these two. They're a little more costly, but it just works on anything. It even works on thicker, like if you're doing that more modern stuff in the wall, like for your house, it'll actually take off the outer sheath without damaging the inner ones. So it's so cool how it does that. So you could take these, crimp them right on like that, and then be all set and you're good to go. And then you're done. You just take those on, boom, you're done. And then you have everything you need with the ends on them already. But I'm gonna do more stuff that's a little more involved. So you could stop right there if you wanted to. So let me see if I can set it up here. I'll get a couple of these prepped to show you what I mean, and I'll come right back. Okay, so now I have these right here, and you can see that these are already insulated. These are the link I'm going to put in the description. And all I'm doing is I'm taking off this outer edge here. If you are crimping them on, just to have them on there just like that, you can just crimp this and you're done, like I said, but I'm doing it the heavy duty way. So because we're doing it that way, we have to remove this outer sheath on here. I already did 3 of them, so I'll show you how I did it. All I did was you take this, you kind of go up on the end that it doesn't have anything on it, and you just get there with a cutter. And then after that, this basically, I just use this pointy edge just to take it out. It comes right out. Take this away too. All right, so now that I have 4 of them, I already took another one, another color, which is green in this case, and I cut it in half. So now we'll go ahead and do the yellow first. But before I do that, I just want to show you the stuff that I use. This is actually, I got this from Harbor Freight. It must have been like $4 or $5, something like that. It's just a variety of, you know, heat shrink tube kit. And you're going to need this one here. You're going to need 2 of these. For the strain relief, and I guess 2 of the yellow ones, but in this case I don't have 2 additional ones, so I'm just going to take a different color. So these are actually the same size right here, so I'll take 2 black ones and 2 yellow ones. So let's see if I can make, I think the green looks good with the yellow there. As far as contrast here, I'll take ones that are already made so you can see. So this looks pretty good, I think, with those colors, nice and bright. And then the yellow one has these. I think it'll be fine. Instead of making it yellow and yellow, I think I'm gonna make the yellow ones black with these other ones here, and it should be fine. So anything will work as long as you have the right size. I don't know exactly what size these are. It doesn't really say on there, but you get the idea. First thing you wanna do, and I always forget this, put the shrink tubing on first. You can't get this stuff over here if you have stuff crimped on there. So you're gonna put this one in first. I'm actually gonna do it on both sets so I will not forget, because it's the worst when you forget. I actually did that a couple times in the live stream that I did. So that's on there, and then you put, in this case we're using black for this side, so I'll do this one in black. And this other one, another black right here. And I'm just pushing them all the way down. You wanna push them down because you wanna get them away from the heat. They're going to be soldering up here. So there's that one. I'm going to do this one because I'm going to forget, and I know myself. So you put those on like that. And then the yellow is going to be going, I'll actually put it on that way. And this way here. All right, so those are good. Let's go ahead and do the black one first, with the yellow with the black on it. So I will just crimp it on here. Now a normal crimper will not work because it's a little skinnier than normal. So even if you go to the smallest setting, which is usually what I do for those, it's not gonna work because it's not gonna, it thinks it has a jacket on it, so it's not gonna crush it enough. So I'm gonna kind of put it in here, and instead of using this, I'm gonna use a normal crimper, which is smaller. So I'll put it inside here first. We'll put it in the bigger setting, I guess, for now. And then we'll take this and we'll take it down and we'll crush it. Just give me a sec to put it in here. I'm crushing it now. And then with the other one, I'll do the same thing. So I'm taking it here. And you're just putting it right on there. Doesn't matter if it hangs over a little bit. It's actually better if it does because we're going to solder it down. So I'll do that. Let me go ahead and do the other one while I'm at it. So you do this. And by the way, I'm going to turn on my soldering iron. I'm going to set it for a little hotter than normal. Usually I set it for 650 Fahrenheit. But I'm going to set it to 750 just so it kind of doesn't dissipate the heat and it gets everything in there really quickly. So crimp that. And then the other one will go here. I'm going to go ahead and crimp that too. Let me just make sure it's all good to go here. Put that on there. All right, so that's it. You could probably give those a tug and it won't come off. I'll just test them, yep. But it doesn't matter because we're soldering them on anyway, so it's kind of double. the work. I suggest if you're doing it this way, you definitely do solder it. So right now it's at 750, so I'm going to actually put it on first. That's the other step. Do not solder them here, then they will not fit. I did that in the live stream as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on. You don't have to put this on right away, but I usually do. It doesn't really affect it. It's not going to melt or anything. This is made out of silicone, so I put that on there, and then put this other one on, and this other one here. All right, so now you have everything you need. So now I'm going to take solder, and I'm going to solder two portions. I'm going to solder actually this part here, and then this part right over there. So let's go ahead and just hold it. Sometimes you may, if you put too much heat, the circuit breaker will actually pop, because that's how it works. It works with heat. When it gets hot, it just pops open. So that'll happen. If that's the case, just wait for it to cool down and you can pop it and reset it. It happened to me the first time. It startled me a little bit. I was like, oh no, I broke it. But you don't break it. You just activate it. So I'm going a little bit over here too. So let me get this one out of the way for now. So I'm just holding it down and just moving the actual solder. And it'll flow eventually. Doing some more here. And of course I'm doing some more right in there. You don't want to make it like a big huge like bulge, because then the shrink tubing will not fit over it. As long as it doesn't go past the top here, you're fine. So those look good. I'll go to the next one now. So I'm just throwing it on there, melting it as I go. There we go. See, like that's a little too big, so I'm kind of spreading it out a little bit. All right, so that should be fine. Same thing over here. And it's not quite hot yet. There it goes. Now it's starting to spread. I really should turn a fan on too, but maybe I'll do that. I need to have it on high too, just so you can see it's starting to see all the smoke. It's actually starting to bring it that way and suck it away from me. Because this does have some lead. I use leaded solder. Not the best for you, but no one lives forever, right? So, but just be careful, you know. The worst that's happened to me is that, you know, I do suffer from a little bit of asthma every now and then, and it does trigger your asthma. It's the other ingredient, not the lead, something else that makes it, you know, not too pleasant. The next day you're coughing a lot because you have asthma. So kind of want to avoid that. So I have both of them there. I'm just going to let them cool a little bit. The reason you want to let them cool because you don't want to put the shrink tubing over it. It's actually going to melt while you're trying to put it on there, and then it's sticky. It's hard to put on. So you want these to cool down. So let's let it cool down, and we'll come right back and put on this shrink tubing. Okay, so we're back. It's nice and cool. I actually turned off my soldering iron. I don't need it anymore. Turned off the fan. But I did connect this. This here is a heat gun. It's not a blow dryer. You could use a blow dryer if you want. If you don't have a heat gun or whatever, you could always use a match or a lighter. I don't suggest those because they do leave char marks and you have to clean it when you're done. But in a pinch, I guess you could use that. But, you know, this one here is just a heat gun that I just have. So now that that's all cool, I can go ahead and here, we'll do this one first, where we'll just slide this up. We have the black that I'm just going to slide over. And then you just kind of just carefully, this one looks like a tighter fit. It's just a slightly bigger or thinner size, but it'll get on there. This one too. Kind of put that on there. This one looks like it's just a little bit too tight compared to the yellow one, but it's going to work. So I'm basically want it over the first part. I think the other one will get over the second part, but for now that's good. And then on this one, you'll see it might go a little better because they're slightly bigger. So this one you can put on there like that. See how it goes over the whole thing? So that's fine. I'm not really picky about it. I might be able to, like with work, I guess I could get it over the second part, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so let's do that one first. So turn it on. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And let me just let it get hot. Now this gets to the point where you can't, like if you put your hand there, it's really going to burn you. It does really get super hot. But what I'm going to do is I just hold it by here, point at each little section, and that's it. You can see it shrinking. Turn it the other way, same deal. Usually get it from the sides if possible. And then of course this side. And then when you do it, you want to, I usually try to make them face in a little bit like that. This is heat proof, so if you don't have anything that's heat proof, do not point down. It will burn whatever's underneath. So now that I did that, I'm going to let that cool because we still got to put the second layer over that. But for now, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to hang it again. Get it from the front. I'll go from the side. Get it from that side and also the back. So this really is great. It directs it right on the actual wire instead of just being open. All right, so I'm going to let that cool down a little bit. And then turn it off. So now that we have everything, we can start with this side first. This feels a little cool to the touch, so we're good. So I'm gonna bring this up now. And we'll just line it up so it's nice and straight. And then we'll get that. Let me see if I can get that on there a little better. Yeah. So I'll push it as much as I can. I'm not gonna do it so it rips or anything, but that's pretty good. And then I'll do the other one as well. Let me see if I can get it this way. There we go. So I'm just pulling on this and pushing on here. So that's good. Again, it's just strain relief and it's gonna be tighter on this portion here, so it'll never come out. And that's it. So now we're gonna heat this up one more time. Make sure it's really hot. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'll take that out of the way. I don't wanna get that by mistake. That's the worst when you're doing it, aiming for this and you get something else in the background. It partially heats and it'll mess it up. So make sure that this is kind of far away, which is what I have. All right, so then I just hang it here. I'm gonna keep these two kind of together like that. And then, there you go, just shrink away. So there's one side, there's this side, there's this side, and then of course, the back side. And that's it. So I'm gonna let that stay right there. I'm gonna try to untangle it so it stays nice and straight. And then that doesn't matter if it's nearby now because I don't care if it shrinks, but you gotta do each one. So I'm gonna do this one now. Okay, we'll go for the side, go for the other side, flip it over, we'll get the back here. And that's it. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit and turn it off. So there it is. We have this one and we have that one. All nicely done, all looking great. And then usually I'll coil them up or whatever and make them look all jazzy. So that's it. It's pretty simple, very easy to make. You know, doesn't cost a fortune and they're really awesome just to have in your wallet. It actually save you money in the long run, I think, so you won't keep popping fuses all the time. And these are 3 amps. Like I said, you can get different values for this if you want. You can get one for 1 amps, 2 amps, 3 amps, and so on. All the way up, I guess, till 7 amps, but I don't know how big they'd be. So for me, I chose 3. I figured that's the best because the most common ones I use, especially in my JAMA supplies there that I work with, you can just have these on there and they just clip on. All right, guys, so there you have it. This is 3 amp, you know, fuse protectors, I guess I'll call them, but they will save a lot of money in the long run because you won't be popping fuses all the time for troubleshooting. I wouldn't use these long term in there because fuses are meant to be fuses, right? So they're a lot different than circuit breakers. So I wouldn't use this as a permanent solution, but for temporary stuff and troubleshooting, if you keep popping fuses and not wanting to spend the money to replace them all, you just pop this in temporarily, troubleshoot what you have, and then once it's all set, you put a normal fuse back in there. All the affiliate links are down below. I do use affiliate links. They don't cost you anything, but they do kind of go towards the channel. We make like pennies each time you like order stuff through them, so just consider using them. But everything I have in this video is all linked below so that you don't have to search everywhere on what to get or ask questions in the comments. I'm all about questions in the comments. That's pretty cool. It's awesome. But it's all in the description most of the time. So just check out there first. All my stuff has that. I also have chapter points now, so you can just refer to stuff or pass this on to people or whatnot. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm on Twitter at Del's Arcade. You can check it out here, or I'm on Instagram or both at Del's Arcade as well. And I always post pictures of what I'm working on. So a lot of people who are followers on there actually have the inside scoop of what I'm working on. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something from it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.